Okay, so here we go. Okay, so we were going to do number Samach Aleph down here. Way down at the bottom, there it is. Page 9. So he says, let me see, okay, here we go. V'lechein kol yusham bebei Zivugim, echa b'yud gimel midah sharachamim de v'yavor, v'hu d'yisro v'leah, v'hasheni hu Zivug de Yaakov v'Rachel l'maltachem in the Chazah. Then there's another one that takes place between Yaakov and Rachel, below the Chazah, and the Nefilas Apayim, but that takes place at Nefilas Apayim. So he says, the Chora, ha'inyan sarach bir. He said, why? Shebemakom acher omer harav de yichud Yaakov v'Rachel na'asach b'tefilas amida b'sim shalom. So that's why I said here. So he says, I am bedrash amida. He says, etc. V'kan kasav shayichud na'asach b'tefilas apayim. So it says that. V'yesh bezecha b'kam stiros, says Allah, hold on to convert stiros. B'kam b'kama v'cham b'kubal k'm Ashkenazim. So he says that this is interesting that, yeah, okay, that's Gubalam Ashkenazim. He says that, again, Shalamaisa hu yichud echad, it's really only one yichud, a maska b'sem shalom, which begins at Shem Shalom and Nigbach and Filas Apayim, and it finishes over there, which is the way I've seen him say this before, something similar to, so that's why I thought that that's what they meant. But he says the Rishash, the Rabbanah Shalom, he says Rabbi Yesh, the Rabbi Zechem Mahalik, he has a different way. So this is something that Rabbi Memra mentioned, so I never really quite understood it 100%. A general, a complete yichud, shall parts of fakad showers to the parts of the 24 hours. The bepradas na'asim kam gimel miyichudim. So in the process, you're actually making three different yichudim. Yichud echad na'asim b'sim shalom. So the first one takes place in sim shalom. Ben Yaakov v'Rachel v'yichud sheni na'asim v'yavor. Then you get the yavor, which I know from looking at this previously, yavor is the word av rayo. So he says v'yichud Na'asa ben Yisra v'Leah, and then after that, v'yichud shlishi na'asa b'tefilas apayim takes place there. Then na'asa b'zecha b'yichud b'klalos of parts of the kadshos. That's when you have the complete and total yichud of this. He says he calls it a b'klalos or a klal of the parts of the kadshos ayin sham. V'efshar da'en estira v'divir rav. Lil Nikdas Khan the Pratech Sugya, so he maybe didn't get into that. The naked rock stam of the klal of the milsa is only really talking about the general idea. Let's look at the next one. I think there's something here over Aim Sham Rock Mochin the Shisha Kids face. So he says now that you only have the Mochin the kids Nimsa B'Shem Oindim the Mala Bechetze Elyon Shel Kumazer Anpet. So just to make this a little more complicated, he said the sheet is a Mukubalam Ashkenazim, according to Ashkenazim then. Sheniz Boyer Le'er Baruch as a spoiler of the Rav Shalom Mechalkim Bebein the Tefilas Bebein Kalim Penimim and Seim V'Gitzonim. So they're not making a difference between that. So the statement of the Rav, which says basically that the only 6 kitzvos come in, they say that there's no difference between the different kalim. They don't differentiate between penimim, mimsa'im, and v'kitzonim. So he says Masha Kosov Kanso, where it writes over here, who bepash this mamas is really just saying it in the simplest way. Shalo nikdisuch rak vok the ima. So that's what it says. It says it only comes into the vok the ima. The sheet is a rishash, but the shash doesn't hold like that. So as with regards to the Kalim Penimium, which would refer to chakras, so apparently the Kalim are he says the Kalim Penimium of the Lamos, but the Kalim of Amsa'im, which really refer to Mincha time, specifically, the kelim emseim niknas kuma shalema mama. So you get a complete and total kuma. So you do get, in fact, the entire the gar and the vok of im, etc. And I'm assuming he means that Abba comes in also, because he said Abba didn't come in. So he said the hind of shlema shal vok im hagar shalachem, so that the entire vok comes in along with its gar. The L'shis of Rishas Masha Kaisiv Rav Kans, according to the Rishas, though, he says what the Rab writes over here, the Hadavar who rock Kelim Benimim, that's only the Kelim Benimim according to the Rishash. Shenim Shachim Meshachri Sha'ak Rechatfila Mistalak Ora V'Choizer B'Mincha, so that's where the light comes. The light, when it came left, that specific light of the morning, that's what they're talking about. And when it comes back as a vok. Okay, so that's what I had to look at. I didn't look at all of that, but we could look at some of these things more. I have another one on the next page that I'd like to examine. So then that brought us to where? Number Samach Aleph, I think. So he says, the Rav writes, Aval ata she'ein sham rak mochin of the sheish kitzvahs, so now we only have mochin of the 6 kitzvahs. Nimsa shehem omdim lamala bechetze elyon shal kumas zeranpen, so therefore they're in really the Chabad Chagat of zeranpen. Im came ein sham makom atzilus shal Yaakov and Rachel, so there's no place for Yaakov and Rachel because the mochin remain up above. Lamata, who are below, he said, b'menachaza. V'lechein ein b'mencha rad zivut echad shal za atzmo im leah, so there it takes place with za. Now, in another place, I saw that they call it Yisroel. So the Yisroel being the parts of Zeranpin, parts of Zeranpin from the Chaz Lamala. So, okay, here he says with Zeranpin, Amin Chaz Lamala, he said, Shebedefidus Mincha ein mochin the Abba Klal. So if we stick with this, and we don't get into that difference of opinion, so we'll just keep going with this idea. So he says, Mincha, there's no entrance of Abba, V'gam ha'mochin the Ima yesh rak vok. U'memelech ha'bavok the Ima mispashet rak b'chabad v'chagat the zeranpin v'ein nidchis ha'pirkin the toim the nai the zah, so she never really gets in, that is, Ima doesn't really get into the nai. And Abba doesn't come in at all. Because the Chabad, that's the Mochin, the Chabad Zah don't come in at all. Nimsa the Chamochin the Chamochin Niknasim Rak Bechetze Elyon Shazah. So the Mochin that we said before is only for the Chaz Lamal. But the Kach Ein Meir Klal Bechinas Yaakov. So therefore Yaakov is not lit up. He's not receiving the shefa that would make his parts of work. So it comes from the mochid the Abba that shine the mechachaz of the mata, the ale, like they said up above. The parts of Rachel gam ein meir sham. So the parts of Rachel, well, how she get any light? Parts of Rachel Bama or is the email the Mata Mechachaza the Zah that would come out for the below the Chaz of Zeranpin. What's going on here? Rebbe, are you still there? I was look at my well, there he goes. Okay, I wasn't looking at my phone, you disappeared. I don't know where I was reading when you cut out. So basically we're saying, I'm up at the, let's say the very bottom of the first column. It says, so therefore there's no shine, a light of Abba, so Yaakov, that portion doesn't develop. Because the parts of Rachel, Agam, ain't Meir Sham, but wait, it's dark for Rachel also. Parts of Rachel, but the Ima, the Mata, the Zah, so there's no oris of Ima, the Mata, the Chaza. The Achsha, but the fetus of Mincha, Shein, the Mochin, the Ima, Megiyim, Sham, they don't reach there. Came so the Ima, Magia, Rock, the Das, the Zach of the Vad, it's only in the neck area, it doesn't go down to the chest, which is where the beginning of Rachel is. So, however, no Nikdas of Gimbal Pirkim Elohim, because the upper 3 Pirkim haven't come in. So there's only one yichud. which is what? Yichud shall Yisrael. Well, that's, so we never use the word, he says that Zeran, but he does use that word here. Im Leah, it's called Yisrael and Leah. It's the upper parts of Zeranpin himself. Im Leah shemakom l'mala mechachazer, because that's where they're up above the chazer. For the yichud shedachem hu l'mala ben the chazer. So that's why we use the phrase that the yichud between Yisrael or Zeranpin and Leah is l'mala ben the chazer in Mincha time, and there's nothing going on down below. So then he says like this, Amnam. So we see like that, but bechinas Rachel nish'arach b'sod ach ba'ach min chazer l'mata. But then there's the aspect of Rachel. Rachel, now exactly how she's still there, but she's not lit up because of the lights are not there. But here she is on the back, nishar b'sod ach ba'ach min chazer l'mata. So she's still there for the chazer l'mata. So he said, "V'keven shaleya chazrecha b'panim b'panim b'zer anpe b'zeh b'demincha." So now he's telling you this. It says that Leah comes around to the front and makes a yichud panim b'panim at mincha time. That's what's going on in mincha. He says, "Oz Rachel rocha makom panu." So Leah's gone, so therefore Rachel comes and fills up that place. V'negdalas v'oidecha b'kol shir kumas Leah tamkein. So she also rises above the chazer, since there's nothing there, and she spreads out of that area. Nimsa, shava b'kamasa, so she winds up that she's the same height now. Im zer anpin kula b'sod ach ba'ach, and so therefore there's some kind of play on that idea that she's now in the situation of ach ba'ach, but she's equal to his height. So the Tiv explained, but Mincha asach yichud yichud Leah in zer anpin panim b'panim. So at Mincha time, when that yichud takes place, then nimsa shemekoma shaleya tazad shehu ma'achre zer anpin mechachazel lamala is from the chazer going upwards. Mekoma ben asa panoi that's empty. So he's repeating the words of the Rav. She's always facing the back of the head of Zeranpin, which is interesting. I think probably we went through some stuff like that and we haven't seen it in a long time. So she's panin to ach. So she leaves the place behind Zeranpin, and comes around to his front. And that's the idea. Now there's got to be some detail in that, but I haven't seen it. So she's also on the back of Zeranpin, but below the chazer, she says that place is empty. He misgadelas so she grows and she takes over the place of Leah. And now she's the same height as Zeranpin, shava b'shava mamish. So he said, but the thing is, she's not standing panim b'panim, she's standing ach ba'ach. Below panim b'panim, she'ein hayichud da'asa ima aval shava aval shava he legamre the gumasr Zeranpin. So he says below panim b'panim, she's not she'ein hayichud da'asa ima, because there's not going to be any yichud with her. Now, I think there's probably an argument about that. I went down over here to number Samach Hey in the Shefa Kavanos, and so we'll finish up maybe with this, or maybe. He says, Az Rachel roh makom pano b'negdalas v'ola b'kol shir kumas leah gam kain, that's what it says, v'nimsa shava b'kumas and Zeranpin kula b'sod ach ba'ach. So the Lekach Zaman Tefillas of Mincha who Eis Ratzon. So therefore the Tefillah of Mincha is really accepted. This is why we call it an Eis Ratzon. So why is that? So that Eliyahu was only answered at Mincha time. He says over there. So this is what he said. Va'ata hasivos as liban achrani. So I guess you've turned their hearts backwards. Now, what's that mean? The Ramazach Sha'az Hanuk, because what it's trying to say here, it's a let's just read it one more time. Va'ata, I think as sivos, I think it's lashon saviv. That's what I thought it meant. As liban achronis, you turned their hearts backwards. The Moran Sha'as Handuk, because then it's trying to say like this, Handuk, that is a Hainu Malchus, Shehi Rachel, Oilu Lamala, she goes upwards, and then in the She'eris the Mata, B'Makav She'ei Sham Yanigas Akali. So she doesn't stay down below. In other words, when you move up to the Rosh area of the Rosh area, then the Kali is much weaker, and they can't really suck off of that. She goes up past that place. And Miss Yachedes in Zer Anpin Ach Ba'ach, and she has a yichud. There was Zer Anpin, but the yichud Yak Ach Ba'ach. Gekol Kumas Azal, that she's really the same height as he is. V'lekach b'ma'arev lo mitzin d'chodav v'zeh. So this idea we don't see it Ma'arev. Sheta'al Rachel l'mala mechachaza, that Rosh should go up above the chaza. She'eliyahu lo na'alacha b'chada b'tefilus Mincha. So there's a whole drush over there, I guess, on that. So I'm going to stop. I guess this is a place to stop right here. And let me see. This today is the 24th. So this is 24 for Adar. All right. So I'll stop there. It's getting interesting. So we'll see how that goes.